The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, November 4 to November 15, reveal that Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra will have a flirty evening together. But Sally thinks it's a bit too soon to let him in her suite for a nightcap. Sally will hit the brakes on Billy a bit during the week of November 4 to 8, but that'll just make it more meaningful when they finally do land in bed together. Next, Summer Newman will manage to halt Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman's first-time passion by returning for her forgotten phone at the Abbott house. Summer will understandably ruin the vibe, but Claire will still be very interested in taking her relationship with Kyle to the next level. It's just that Claire will want the timing to be right, and Summer obviously can't be around when it happens. However, Summer's feelings for Kyle may be bubbling back up. It seems like Summer's getting jealous of Claire, so a storm could be brewing. That's especially true since Summer and Chance Chancellor will face problems in their own romance due to Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s case. Speaking of Daniel, he'll stay focused on getting justice for Heather Stevens and clearing his own name. Lucy Romalotti doesn't need her dad stuck in prison, so Daniel will be highly motivated to get out this legal jam. Phyllis Summers will plot against Sharon Newman and hope she can score an admission of guilt. Although Phyllis will act like she's got evidence, it'll really just be part of a trap. Sharon will fight back by threatening to get a restraining order on Phyllis. Nick Newman won't be a fan of that plan, but Sharon may feel she has no choice after Phyllis repeatedly confronts her. As for Christine Blair, she'll keep some news on the down low. Christine might uncover something that could help clear Daniel, but she may keep a lid on it out of fear that Phyllis will bungle things. Amy Lewis is still in town awaiting Nate Hastings' decision, so he'll finally give her some updates. There's a good chance Nate will agree to locate his half-brother, Damien, but that task will inevitably be a tricky one. Back with Billy, he'll propose a truce to Laylee Winters and suggest maybe they can work together at Abbott Chancellor after all. That's what Jill Abbott wants, but will Lily be willing to cave in? Elsewhere, Diane Jenkins Abbott will have some cryptic communication with someone. There will be a mystery surrounding a message Diane sends, so this might lead to a big reveal and prove that she's been scheming with Jack Abbott all along. Our predictions hint that Jack and Diane's breakup may be fake, so they may secretly text about their plan to deceive Kyle and Victor Newman. Speaking of Victor, he'll pull off a surprise that's one for the history books. Nikki Newman will wonder what's going on as Victor blindfolds her and leads her somewhere amazing. Since Y&R has recreated the original Newman Ranch set, that'll become part of the story. Victor has been working on this recreation without Nikki knowing about it, so she'll be moved to tears once she sees it on November 8. During the week of November 11 to 15, the show will put the new set to good use. That's because David Hamilton Winters and Abby Newman Abbott are going to get married there. November 13 will mark Y&R's 13,000th episode, so there will be quite a celebration as Abby ties the knot with Devin in front of their friends and family. Jill, Ashley Abbott, Anna Hamilton, and Harmony, aka Young&The Hamilton, will all be part of the wedding festivities, so there will be lots of love in the room on Devin and Abby's big day. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some romantic moments and plenty of excitement, so stay tuned for updates on all the fun CDLs where you want to be for the hottest Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so drop by regularly for more info. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Y&R/Sharon is in danger. The Young and the Restless spoilers and preview suggest that the week of November 4 to 8, 2024 will be tough for Sharon Newman as Phyllis Summers drops some major revelations against her. Additionally, Billy Abbott will try to make peace with Laylee Winters, but Lily seems suspicious of Billy's intentions. What else is on the horizon? Let's find out. Will Lily accept Billy's request? The Young&The preview for the week of November 4 to November 8 reveals that Billy Abbott will finally take his chance and seek forgiveness from Lily Winters. They will be sitting at the athletic club where Billy will accept his faults and ask Lily for another chance to make amends. However, Lily does not seem convinced at all, as the preview video reveals. It will be interesting to see if Billy succeeds, since Lily might doubt his repentance, fearing it comes from a desire to keep his position rather than genuine remorse. As regular viewers know, Jill Abbott has issued an ultimatum to Billy to bring Lily back to the Abbott Chancellor, or else she will fire him. So when Lily gets an idea about the threat, she will question Billy's motivation for asking her to join back in the office, even though Billy might point out several other reasons. Lily could also use this opportunity to manipulate Billy or simply reject his proposal, considering it insincere, or she could decide to give it a chance. What do you think? Phyllis has proof against Sharon. Further, the Young&The preview also reveals a face-off between Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers, as Phyllis will confront Sharon at Crimson Lights. There, Phyllis will drop a bombshell, revealing that she knows what Sharon has done, and she claims to have a proof to back it up. Sharon will panic after this sudden confrontation, responding, "What the hell are you talking about?" Meanwhile, Daniel Romalotti will be watching them closely from a distance. Sharon's anxious behavior will raise suspicions, forcing Daniel to monitor her actions. This could be a dead end for Sharon if Daniel decides to team up with Phyllis based on his suspicions. Victor's huge surprise for Nikki. The preview video also features Victor Newman, revealing a surprise for Nikki Newman after removing the blindfold from her eyes. This surprise will be the rebuilt original ranch home, leaving Nikki awestruck. Fans will get to witness the revival of this beloved set starting November 8, which could also distract Nikki from focusing on Victor's plan against Jack Abbott. Victor might soon make bold moves against Jack without letting Nikki get any hints of it. The Young&The Restless spoilers suggest a thrilling week ahead, as the preview has created suspense for the upcoming episodes. The question remains, does Phyllis really have evidence against Sharon? Will Lily agree to return? And what is Victor's plan against Jack? The following week could answer all these questions, so stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more updates. Share your thoughts on the upcoming developments. What are you most excited about? The Young&The Restless spoilers for Tuesday, November 5, reveal that Tracy Abbott will find some way to catch Alan Laurent off guard. It's possible that it'll involve a love profession or maybe some other romantic surprise. Whatever the case, Tracy will manage to stun Alan on Tuesday's episode. Of course, Young&The has dropped some hints that Alan might actually be Martin Laurent following one last twin swap, so a curveball could be cooking up. Since Billy Abbott could use some guidance, look for him to get some advice from Tracy eventually. Once Tracy and Martin sit down with Billy at Crimson Lights, Tracy may push Billy to put his ego aside and focus on what really matters. Billy could lose the Abbott Chancellor throne if he doesn't find a path to peace with Lily Winters. Sharing power with Lily is better than having no power at all, so Billy will ultimately realize he has to surrender to Jill Abbott's demands. Billy would rather keep running the show alone, but he'll determine that it's time to make a sacrifice here. Young&The spoilers say Billy will ask Lily to forgive him and pitch the idea of running the Abbott Chancellor Empire as a team again. While Lily mulls over Billy's proposal, Nate Hastings will make a significant choice. It sounds like Nate will decide to search for his half-brother and reunite Damien with Amy Lewis before she passes away. Naturally, Nate is feeling uneasy about the idea of tracking down this man he's never met and blowing up his life with major family revelations. Nevertheless, Nate may not be able to deny Amy her last wish considering what she's up against. Our predictions point to Nate's Damien search coming with some shockers, so don't miss what's in store. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nate will give Amy updates on some big news soon enough, so she may be relieved over his willingness to locate Damien. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, October 4, reveals that Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott will nearly hit the sheets in a bedroom upstairs at the Abbott house. Unfortunately, Summer Newman will return for the phone she left behind and see Claire's purse nearby. Once Summer calls out to Kyle and Claire, it'll pump the brakes on their sizzling session. There'll be some tension as Kyle comes down and basically tries to convey that what's happening upstairs is his business. Since Kyle's shirt will be unbuttoned, it'll no doubt confirm things for Summer. However, Summer will sell a story about how she thought Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell, might be ill from Halloween goodies since Claire stayed so late. After Kyle gets rid of Summer, he'll put his attention back on Claire. Alas, the moment will have passed by then, so Claire will hold off on making love with Kyle for the first time. Kyle will be understanding about the delay and let Claire know that he'll be there when she's ready to take that step. Our Vi and our predictions point to Summer causing more issues along the way, so stick with us for updates on all the shocking news to come. Over drinks at Society, Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra will make a pact to avoid talking about anything too serious. The result will be corny jokes, coin magic tricks, and mildly humiliating stories about Sally and Billy's pasts. When Billy suggests a nightcap in Sally's room, she'll turn him down with a not yet, though they'll be on the same page about enjoying getting to know each other. At the coffee house, Phyllis Summers will try to rattle Sharon Newman with Daniel Romalotti-Jerdot as a witness. Although Phyllis will claim she knows what Sharon did and has proof, Sharon will try to hide her panic and will act like that's impossible since there's no evidence to uncover. Nick Newman will listen to the tail end of Phyllis' confrontation with Sharon, and he'll keep listening once Phyllis stomps out. Sharon will do her best to convince Daniel that she's not to blame for Heather Stevens' demise, and will accuse Phyllis of acting even crazier than she normally does. Once Daniel is gone, Nick will quiz Sharon about what happened. When Nick questions the proof Phyllis claimed to have, Sharon will wonder if he believes she's guilty now. Nick will assure Sharon that's not the case, so she'll be relieved about that. Sharon will also have a plan to deal with Phyllis and will think this calls for a restraining order. Nick will advise against it since Phyllis and her loved ones are already dealing with enough as it is. Plus, Sharon would just look guilty, like she was trying to stop Phyllis from digging into things. Nick will reiterate that he believes Sharon's innocent, but he'll still push her to stand down on this restraining order plan. Instead, Nick will intend to talk to Phyllis and handle her himself. At the GCAC, Phyllis will talk to Daniel and Summer about her gaslighting scheme and this proof she doesn't actually have. The goal will be to get Sharon to crack by setting a trap, but Summer and Daniel will have plenty of reservations. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will do whatever it takes to prove Sharon is guilty, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, October 4, reveals that Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott will nearly hit the sheets in a bedroom upstairs at the Abbott house. Unfortunately, Summer Newman will return for the phone she left behind and see Claire's purse nearby. Once Summer calls out to Kyle and Claire, it'll pump the brakes on their sizzling session. There will be some tension as Kyle comes down and basically tries to convey that what's happening upstairs is his business. Since Kyle's shirt will be unbuttoned, it'll no doubt confirm things for Summer. However, Summer will sell a story about how she thought Harrison Abbott might be ill from Halloween goodies since Claire stayed so late. After Kyle gets rid of Summer, he'll put his attention back on Claire. Alas, the moment will have passed by then, so Claire will hold off on making love with Kyle for the first time. Kyle will be understanding about the delay and let Claire know that he'll be there when she's ready to take that step. Our Vi and our predictions point to Summer causing more issues along the way, so stick with us for updates on all the shocking news to come. Over drinks at Society, Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra will make a pact to avoid talking about anything too serious. The result will be corny jokes, coin magic tricks, and mildly humiliating stories about Sally and Billy's pasts. When Billy suggests a nightcap in Sally's room, she'll turn him down with a "not yet," though they'll be on the same page about enjoying getting to know each other. At the coffee house, Phyllis Summers will try to rattle Sharon Newman with Daniel Romalotti as a witness. Although Phyllis will claim she knows what Sharon did and has proof, Sharon will try to hide her panic and will act like that's impossible since there's no evidence to uncover. Nick Newman will listen to the tail end of Phyllis' confrontation with Sharon, and he'll keep listening once Phyllis stomps out. Sharon will do her best to convince Daniel that she's not to blame for Heather Stevens' demise, and will accuse Phyllis of acting even crazier than she normally does. Once Daniel is gone, Nick will quiz Sharon about what happened. When Nick questions the proof Phyllis claimed to have, Sharon will wonder if he believes she's guilty now. Nick will assure Sharon that's not the case, so she'll be relieved about that. Sharon will also have a plan to deal with Phyllis and will think this calls for a restraining order. Nick will advise against it since Phyllis and her loved ones are already dealing with enough as it is. Plus, Sharon would just look guilty, like she was trying to stop Phyllis from digging into things. Nick will reiterate that he believes Sharon's innocent, but he'll still push her to stand down on this restraining order plan. Instead, Nick will intend to talk to Phyllis and handle her himself. At the GCAC, Phyllis will talk to Daniel and Summer about her gaslighting scheme and this proof she doesn't actually have. The goal will be to get Sharon to crack by setting a trap, but Summer and Daniel will have plenty of reservations. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will do whatever it takes to prove Sharon is guilty, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are 3 must-see moments next week. From November 4 to 8, 2024, fans can expect Phyllis Summers to push Sharon Newman to the edge. Chance Chancellor and Summer Newman fight over Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s arrest. Also, Victor Newman unveils the Newman Ranch renovations. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless, Phyllis Summers vs. Sharon Newman. My and our spoilers for the week of November 4 reveal that one must-see moment centers on Phyllis and Sharon. Phyllis is determined to prove Daniel's innocence. Christine Blair said Daniel's best chance is to establish reasonable doubt. The best thing to happen is that the evidence points to the real killer. My and our spoilers. Proof ruse. Phyllis isn't counting on the criminal justice system. Phyllis decides to confront Sharon at the coffee house. Phyllis lies to Sharon and says she has proof of what she's done. Sharon demands to know what Phyllis is talking about. Phyllis doesn't give Sharon any concrete answers, though. Phyllis knows that guilt and paranoia are a combination that gets people busted. It seems this is what she is counting on to happen with Sharon. Chance Chancellor and Summer Newman fight. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 4 reveal that Summer is pretty upset that the police are questioning Daniel about Heather Stevens' death. Chance told Summer that Daniel should get a good lawyer. That was more than any other detective would tell Summer. It doesn't matter what Chance thinks, he has to follow the law. Chance didn't want to arrest Daniel, he had to. Unfortunately, it seems Summer's emotions will get the best of her. Summer and Chance will get into a fight over Daniel's arrest. While Chance's hands are tied, Summer probably feels that he's not following the evidence the right way. With Summer seemingly gravitating closer to Kyle Abbott's UMANC is likely on its way out. The Young and the Restless spoilers, week of November 4, 2024. Next week, fans can also expect to see the completed Newman Ranch renovations. Victor decided to surprise Nikki for their anniversary. Victor escorts Nikki inside with a blindfold. When the blindfold is taken off, Nikki's jaw drops. This will also lead to Abby Newman Abbott and Devin Hamilton Winters finalizing their wedding plans. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of November 4, 2024? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. A whole lot of storylines on Young and Restless revolve around which character is A, B, and CEO of this or that company. But what we don't always, or would that be ever, think about is that all of those shuffles in the executive suites mean that the cast is perpetually being relocated from one set to another. One day, this office is home, sweet home, and the next, who knows? Since Mark Grossman plays the son of Mercurial Victor, he is especially well-practiced in this game of musical chairs. In fact, over the years, there have only been a couple of times when Adam was actually CEO and sitting in the big chair, he recalls for Soaps.com. That doesn't bother Grossman nearly as much as it does Adam, who vacillates between wanting to be the top dog and wanting to say, to hell with it, and stick it to Daddy Dearest. The actor isn't as drawn to the corner office at Newman Enterprises at all the way, say, Victoria is on screen. I weirdly like working on the Newman media set, he admits. Maybe he's being sentimental, considering that that's where Adam and Sally hooked up on the couch. Then again, maybe not. I wonder how many people have had sex on that couch, he muses. Might not want to think about that too much. Young and Restless preview. As Phyllis sets a trap for Sharon, Billy is served his just desserts, crow. In the latest Young and Restless preview for the week of November 4 to 8, someone is on an overdue apology tour. Read on for the details and watch the video below. Last week, Lily and Nikki had it out when the young woman finally learned of the Newmans' deception and plot to take over Chancellor and force her to go crawling back to Winters. Nikki wanted Lily to work with her at Chancellor, but Lily wasn't as confident as the Newmans were that they could snag the company. Jill, meanwhile, furious with her son, reached out to Lily and basically ordered her to find a way to work with Billy and save the company. Coming up, Billy says to Lily, "I've been a jerk, and here I am asking for forgiveness and for a chance to fix things." Will Lily swallow her pride to work with Billy and save Chancellor from a Newman takeover? Phyllis was hopping mad after Chance arrested Daniel, as she was sure Sharon was the real killer. Christine, Paul's ex-wife of all people, stepped in to defend Daniel, the man accused of killing Paul's daughter. Christine got Daniel out on bail, while Sharon hallucinated and was visited by visions of Nick and one very dead Heather. Next week, Phyllis says to Sharon, "I know what you did. I have proof." Daniel watches as Sharon snaps, "What the hell are you talking about? Is Phyllis setting a trap for Sharon or just playing with fire?" Finally, Victor has a huge surprise for Nikki. Victor removes a blindfold from Nikki's eyes. She tears up, and her jaw drops open in astonishment. What's the surprise? He's remodeled the Newman Ranch. As the sun rose over Genoa City, anticipation filled the air. Jill had finally set her return date, and whispers of her impending arrival sent shivers down the spines of those who'd crossed her in the past. Known for her fierce determination and unyielding nature, Jill was a force to be reckoned with. Devin, unable to shake his growing anxiety, was reminded of her swift and merciless wrath. Devin paced the floors of Chancellor Industries, thoughts racing about the possible consequences he might face. The threat of being fired loomed large, and he knew all too well that Jill had a long memory when it came to betrayals. The mistakes he and Lily had made weighed heavily on his conscience, knowing that Jill was well aware of their missteps. Her reputation for ruthlessness was respected and feared by all. Meanwhile, Billy remained blissfully unaware of the storm brewing around him. His trusting nature often left him vulnerable to manipulation, and he seemed once again to be falling into a trap set by those he thought he could rely on. Jill's looming presence was a reality he would soon have to confront. However, without her guidance, Billy risked making poor decisions that could lead to his downfall. From the shadows, Jill assessed the situation with sharp eyes. She knew the stakes were high. The merger between Winters and Chancellor was not just a business move, but a consolidation of power to ensure her legacy. Devon and Lily's reckless actions threatened the stability of her empire, and she was determined to reclaim what she saw as rightfully hers. She had no intention of letting them off the hook easily. With a warning as sharp as a knife, Jill made her expectations clear. "Return to your rightful place, or face the consequences," she warned Devon. Her eyes narrowed, emphasizing the gravity of her threat. Devon's heart raced as he realized just how serious she was. This was no empty threat, but a declaration of war. Caught in the crossfire, Billy's loyalty to his mother was unwavering, but he couldn't ignore the pressure from all sides. He admired Devon's vision for the future, yet he knew that Jill was a master strategist. He needed her guidance now more than ever to protect what he had worked so hard to build. With each calculated move, Jill tightened her grip on the company. She knew that Devon's reliance on others could be his undoing, and she intended to exploit every weakness in his plan, dismantling his confidence piece by piece until he was cornered. As tensions escalated, Jill prepared to unleash her fury, using her wit and ambition to not only defeat Devon, but to ensure he understood the high cost of crossing her. The stage was set for an epic showdown, both in the boardroom and beyond, with the stakes higher than ever. Would Devon rise to meet Jill's challenge, or would he falter under the weight of her relentless ambition? As Jill plotted her next move, the future of both companies hung in the balance, with everything riding on the outcome of this dangerous game of corporate chess. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman's predicament just keeps getting worse. Although the drama can be quite entertaining, it seems like Y and R's determined to take Sharon as low as they can possibly take her. Of course, there's a good chance Sharon is innocent when it comes to causing Heather Stevens' actual demise. Sharon's blackout created a window of time for another culprit to come in and do the deed instead, so we expect the show to take full advantage of that with a big reveal. It's just a matter of time until viewers get updates on who truly took down Heather. Even so, Sharon wrapped up Heather's body and dumped it off a bridge. From there, Sharon framed grieving Daniel Romalotti Jr. and is threatening to send Lucy Romalotti's only remaining parent to prison. Will Sharon make matters worse by piling on more crimes? Sharon has already vowed to deal with Phyllis Summers, so that could put Daniel's determined mom in a dangerous situation. However, Phyllis may not be the only one in the danger zone. There might be good reasons to worry about Tessa Porter's safety as well. I&R has been working hard to establish a bond between Daniel and Tessa in recent months. Tessa has become a good friend to Daniel, so she believes in his innocence and doesn't want to see him go down for something he didn't do. That's why Tessa gave Daniel a pep talk in the November 1 episode and tried to offer reassurance about the real culprit getting caught. Unfortunately, Tessa doesn't realize her own mother-in-law is responsible for Daniel's frame-up. What happens if Tessa stumbles upon some evidence, or at least overhears Sharon confessing during a hallucination? That could put Tessa in a tight spot, since she might have to rat out Maria Copeland's mom to save Daniel. Naturally, it's also possible Sharon will realize Tessa is a threat and work to silence her. Sharon might knock Tessa out and lock her up somewhere until she can decide what to do next. Tessa could become a hostage as Sharon's worst nightmare goes even further off the rails. There's thankfully no reason to believe Tessa will face a grim fate at Sharon's hands, but she could certainly still land in peril if a kidnapping crisis plays out. Having Sharon hold Maria's wife captive would really raise the stakes of this story, so we'll see if Tessa might get tangled up in the mess. Based on our predictions, Sharon will spin out in shocking ways as the walls close in, so we'll keep you posted on all the disturbing news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Tessa could learn too much for her own good if she's not careful. CDL will have all the sizzling Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news you're looking for, so stop by often. The Young and the Restless spoilers. In the bustling, often unpredictable world of Genoa City, relationships and family dynamics have always been intricate. Yet nothing could have prepared Nate Hastings for the revelation that was about to unfold when Amy returned to town. He never expected their conversation would lead him down a path shrouded in heartbreak and curiosity. Amy, Nate's long-lost mother, had come with a secret weighing heavily on her mind, a story she had guarded for years, hidden even from herself. In moments of denial and despair, she told Nate about Damon, her other son, and Nate's younger half-brother, who had been taken from her at a very young age. He was lost, abducted without a trace, leaving Amy with only a void filled with endless questions and shattered dreams. Her eyes grew misty as she recounted those days, the fear and helplessness that haunted her for years. Nate listened intently, his mind racing with thoughts of this mysterious sibling he had never known, a brother he had only just learned existed. The idea of another family member, a bond of blood somewhere out there, filled him with equal parts fascination and longing. He couldn't help but wonder about the person Damon had become, what kind of life he might have led, and whether there was any chance they would ever reunite. But as they spoke, a peculiar thought surfaced in Amy's mind, one that refused to be dismissed. Her gaze fell upon Kyle Abbott, a figure she had seen around town and recently started observing more closely. The rumor mill of Genoa City had long speculated that Kyle might not be the biological son of Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins. The thought had crossed her mind before, but seeing Kyle up close filled her with a maternal intuition she couldn't ignore. What if Kyle is Damon? Amy murmured, more to herself than to Nate, but her words hung in the air like a ghostly whisper. Nate's heart skipped a beat. Could it be possible? The very idea was almost too wild to entertain. Kyle, the man he knew well and respected, the man who had a stable, albeit drama-filled life in the Abbott family, could be his long-lost brother. The ramifications were staggering, but Nate knew one thing. If there was even the smallest possibility of truth to this, he had to know. He had to know if Kyle was his brother, if they shared a bond deeper than friendship rooted in blood. The duo agreed, albeit with trepidation, to pursue a DNA test. It would be a covered operation, something that only they would know about. Nate could feel the tension as he swabbed the inside of Kyle's glass, taking the sample with utmost care to ensure secrecy. As he sent it off to the lab, he knew the next few days would be the longest of his life. During this time, Nate couldn't help but observe Kyle in a new light. Every interaction felt charged with unspoken questions and hidden truths. He began to notice subtle things about Kyle, mannerisms that reminded him of his own, expressions that hinted at a deeper connection. His thoughts raced as he considered what this revelation might mean. Would they embrace the newfound bond, or would it drive a wedge between them? Amy's intuition, however, was resolute. She believed without a shadow of a doubt that Kyle was her son. In the days leading up to the results, she oscillated between hope and fear, dread and anticipation. What would it mean for her if the test proved her right? She had already missed so much of his life. Could she hope to be a part of it now? And if it wasn't true, if Damon was still out there somewhere, would she ever find peace? When the day finally arrived, Nate's nerves were frayed. The results landed in his hands with a weight he hadn't expected. His fingers trembled as he opened the envelope, his eyes scanning the words that would change everything. The test was positive. Kyle was indeed Damon, Amy's lost son and Nate's brother. In one moment, a lifetime of unknowns converged into a single irrefutable truth. Nate's world shifted on its axis, his relationship with Kyle transformed in ways he hadn't anticipated. He was no longer just a friend or an acquaintance. Kyle was family, a part of his very soul. The discovery marked the beginning of a new chapter for Nate and Kyle, one defined by questions, revelations, and emotional upheaval. How would they navigate this newfound bond? Could Kyle embrace the truth of his origins without resentment? And how would the Abbott family react to the revelation that Kyle was not, in fact, an Abbott? This connection was bound to stir up secrets long buried and challenge the very foundations of Genoa City's social fabric. For Nate, it was a chance to form a bond he had long yearned for. For Kyle, it was a journey of rediscovering his identity and redefining his place in a family he once thought was his own. As Nate and Amy prepared to reveal the truth to Kyle, they braced themselves for the impact it would have on everyone around them. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jack Abbott sat alone in his dimly lit office at the Abbott mansion, the weight of the world pressing heavily on his shoulders. The soft glow of the desk lamp cast long shadows, mirroring the doubts that had begun to creep into his mind. For weeks now, a nagging question had been gnawing at him. Whose child is Kyle really? Diane Jenkins, Kyle's mother, had always been evasive whenever the topic arose, her eyes flickering with a hint of something unspoken. Jack had tried to dismiss his suspicions, chalking them up to stress or paranoia, but the more he observed Diane's behavior, the sidelong glances, the abrupt changes of subject, the more convinced he became that she was hiding something significant. With no one else to confide in and feeling increasingly isolated, Jack decided to take matters into his own hands. He resolved to secretly conduct a DNA test to confirm whether Kyle was truly his son. Late one evening, under the pretense of needing a document from Kyle's room, Jack obtained a sample of his son's hair. He sent it off along with his own to a private laboratory, using an alias to avoid any leaks or misunderstandings. The days that followed were agonizing. Each ring of the phone, each delivery at the door, sent his heart racing. When the envelope finally arrived, Jack hesitated before opening it, his hands trembling as he unfolded the paper and read the results. His world shattered. The words were clear and undeniable. Probability of paternity 0%. Jack sank into his chair, the room spinning around him. Memories flooded his mind. The first time he held Kyle as a baby, their fishing trips, the heart-to-heart talks. It was inconceivable that the boy he had raised as his own for over 30 years was not his biological son. This wasn't the first time Jack had faced such a revelation. Years ago, he had experienced the same gut-wrenching disbelief upon learning that he was not the biological son of his mother, Dina. That discovery had shaken him to his core, but he had managed to rebuild his identity and his relationships. Now, facing the possibility of losing his son in the same way, the pain was almost unbearable. Questions swirled in his mind. Who was Kyle's real father? Did Diane know all along? Had their entire relationship been built on a lie? Jack knew he needed answers, but confronting Diane without evidence would only lead to more evasion. He decided to approach her carefully, hoping to find the truth without causing further damage. The next evening, Jack invited Diane over to the mansion under the guise of discussing family matters. As they sat in the living room, the tension was palpable. "Diane," Jack began cautiously, "I've been thinking a lot about our past and about Kyle. There are some things I need to understand." Diane shifted uncomfortably. "What do you mean? Is something bothering you?" He looked directly into her eyes. "I can't shake the feeling that there's something you're not telling me about Kyle's paternity." Her gaze faltered. "Jack, we've been over this. Kyle is your son." "Is he?" Jack pressed, pulling the DNA test results from his pocket and placing them on the coffee table. "Because this says otherwise." Diane's face went pale. She stared at the document, her eyes wide with shock. You had a DNA test done." "I had to know the truth," Jack replied firmly. "Why didn't you tell me?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "I was scared, Jack. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought it wouldn't matter." "Wouldn't matter?" Jack echoed incredulously. You let me believe he was my son for over 30 years. I didn't want to lose you, she whispered. You were the best thing that ever happened to us. Jack stood up, running a hand through his hair in frustration. Who is his real father? Diane hesitated, then finally admitted, it's Victor Newman. Jack felt as though the air had been knocked out of him. Victor Newman, his longtime rival and nemesis. The man who had been a thorn in his side, both personally and professionally for decades. The revelation was almost too much to bear. You expect me to believe that you had a child with Victor and kept it from both of us? Jack asked, his voice tinged with disbelief and anger. Diane nodded slowly. It was a complicated time. I was involved with both of you. When I found out I was pregnant, I chose to believe he was yours. It was easier that way. Easier for whom? Jack demanded. Certainly not for Kyle or for me. You robbed us of the truth. I'm sorry, she pleaded. I never meant to hurt you. Jack turned away, his thoughts racing. The implications of this revelation were staggering. Not only had he been deceived about his own son, but now Victor Newman was unwittingly part of this twisted family saga. Does Kyle know? He asked suddenly. No, Diane replied. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers confronted Sharon Newman. Afterward, Sharon mentioned to Nick Newman that Phyllis seemed crazier than usual. Would Sharon solve her problem by lying to the police, resulting in Phyllis being committed to the psych ward? Keep reading and let's talk about the possibilities. Daniel Rumalotti jurors arrest. Y&R spoilers reveal that Phyllis completely flipped out when Daniel Rumalotti Jr. was arrested. Phyllis knows her son is innocent and didn't kill Heather Stevens. Phyllis is convinced that Sharon is responsible. While Phyllis is right about that, there are other scenes in which she sounds downright insane. This includes Phyllis accusing Christine Blair of taking Daniel's case just to make sure he goes to prison. There was also Phyllis' practical breakdown in front of Billy Abbott. Y&R spoilers. Phyllis Summers' confrontation. Phyllis recently confronted Sharon while Daniel watched from nearby. Daniel was pretty upset that Phyllis lied to Sharon about having evidence. Daniel knows Phyllis is trying to help, but she could also make things worse. After all, that is Phyllis' specialty. Phyllis knows that guilt and paranoia can expose someone's sins. So Phyllis is probably trying to push Sharon into confessing. Phyllis knows that Sharon is unstable, but doesn't realize just how unstable. Sharon Newman's sick solution. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that after the confrontation, Nick wanted to know what was going on. Sharon tried to play it cool, but finally admitted Phyllis accused her of killing Heather. Sharon made sure to mention to Nick that Phyllis sounded crazier than usual. Sharon also mentioned this to Daniel as well. Sharon is already planting seeds that could lead to Phyllis facing another frustrating obstacle. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Psych ward scheme. Sharon might gaslight Phyllis and set her up to look completely insane. If Sharon plays her cards just right, with the help of hallucination Cameron Kirsten, could Phyllis end up being committed to the psych ward? Sharon might think that by the time Phyllis gets out, Daniel will already be in prison. However, Phyllis isn't the only one starting to suspect Sharon is guilty. Daniel has other people who believe in him. This includes Summer Newman, Abby Newman Abbott, and Tessa Porter. At some point, Sharon will get sloppy or make a critical mistake. When that happens, Sharon will have to face what she's done, and that could be devastating. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and rumors tease Lily Winters could go from power struggles in business to making a modeling comeback. Around the time she was first married to Kane Ashby, she worked as a model for a while. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Glitzy Lily Winters been lunching alone. Lily is confronted with a tough reality after her plans to reclaim the CEO role at Chancellor Winters fall apart. Since Billy Abbott let her go from Abbott Chancellor, she has been trying to savor solo lunches around Genoa City, looking fabulous every time. Whether she's employed or not, Lily always dresses as if she's heading to an extravagant event. However, her choice to dine alone at the city's trendiest restaurants means she attracts curiosity. Although she insists she wants to enjoy her meals in peace, she often finds herself lamenting her ousting from the CEO position at Chancellor. She'll talk to anyone willing to lend an ear, and she can go on about it for quite a while. Y&R spoilers. Lily Winters has a whole list of who's to blame, except the one in the mirror. Lily is well aware of her beauty, so she rarely feels the need to check her reflection. However, it might be time for her to take a more introspective glance. During her tenure as CEO of Chancellor Industries, she was truly remarkable. But as her confidence soared, she teamed up with her brother, Divin Winters, whose ego was even larger, to merge their businesses. The disastrous merger kicked off with a painfully dull launch party at the Grand Phoenix, where Nate Hastings attempted to liven things up with an unsanctioned speech at the podium. But it fell flat as soon as the festivities ended. Instead of adding excitement, it ignited family disputes and led to Nate's swift dismissal. The Young and the Restless spoilers. What if she decided differently? What if Lily had chosen not to merge Chancellor Industries with Hamilton Winters? What if she had decided to pull the plug after facing the first signs of trouble? Instead, she turned against Billy, believing she could outmaneuver him for control of the company, but ultimately she failed. In a desperate move, she sought the help of the formidable Victor Newman to help her oust Billy, thinking this alliance would secure her position as CEO once more. Now, having witnessed Victor's true nature, she finds herself pleading with Jill Abbott to release her son and restore her as CEO. But Lily's time in the business world may be over. Y&R spoilers. What about returning to modeling? If Lily can't come to grips with her current career situation, she may find that dining alone becomes her new norm. Soon enough, no one in Genoa City will be seeking her for any insider information on Chancellor. Maybe during one of her solitary meals, she might want to rethink her path in modeling. That style suits her well, and it would certainly keep her from talking too much. She could always ask Lauren Fenmore Baldwin to lunch to discuss some modeling options for her. Failing that, perhaps Lauren's connections in Los Angeles might have some modeling work for her. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a deepening rift within Genoa City's close-knit family ties, as Sharon's reckless decision to make Aria disappear sends shockwaves through her loved ones. Her granddaughter's sudden absence devastates Tessa, who can barely contain her anger toward Sharon. The weight of Sharon's betrayal leaves Tessa disillusioned and furious, and when she confronts Maria, their argument quickly erupts into a full-blown clash. Tessa, unable to forgive Sharon's irresponsibility, demands answers, her frustration spilling over. How can you stand by her after what she's done? She put our daughter in danger, Tessa declares, her voice filled with desperation. Caught in the crossfire, Maria struggles to defend her mother. She's my mom, Tessa. She made a mistake, but she needs us, she replies, her voice cracking under the strain of conflicting loyalties. But Tessa's patience has run out. Her daughter's safety is paramount. In a moment of anger, she declares, maybe we need to consider separating. I can't stay in this situation where Aria's at risk. The words hit Maria like a gut punch, her heart breaking. You can't be serious. You're willing to throw away our marriage over this? She asks, her tone a mix of anger and sorrow. Tessa, however, is resolute. I'm not throwing anything away. I'm protecting Aria, she says, her voice steely with determination. The weight of her role as Aria's mother fuels her decision, and despite the love she shares with Maria, she feels she can no longer risk her daughter's safety by being connected to Sharon. While Maria tries to hold on to the hope of helping Sharon change, Tessa refuses to compromise. As the argument reaches its peak, an unspoken truth looms. Can they truly face a separation over this? Tessa's protective instincts are unwavering, while Maria feels torn between loyalty to her mother and her wife. In the following days, Tessa's resolve only deepens as she considers a path focused solely on Aria's well-being, leaving her feeling isolated yet determined. Meanwhile, Maria is left to wrestle with feelings of betrayal and loss, unsure if her family will survive this fracture. With Aria's safety on the line, the tension is at an all-time high. Maria and Tessa each face difficult choices in the days ahead, grappling with fear, sacrifice, and love. Will they find a way to reunite in the face of adversity, or will the shadows of the past finally tear them apart? The answer remains uncertain as Genoa City watches this high-stakes family drama unfold. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Chelsea Lawson may find a new way to resist her destiny. Even Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra have been pushing the notion that Chelsea and Adam Newman are meant to be together, but Chelsea is putting up a fight. Of course, my and our fans know Connor Newman is a big part of Chelsea's reluctance to reunite with Adam. It would make Connor happy temporarily, but he'd be devastated if Adam and Chelsea split up all over again. Chelsea's attitude has been pretty doom and gloom when it comes to any Adam-related romantic predictions. As far as Chelsea is concerned, she'd be headed down a toxic road with Adam if they gave their relationship another chance. However, Chelsea may be fighting an inevitable fate. Sally feels like somewhere deep down, Chelsea knows that Adam is who she's meant to be with. Even so, Chelsea may continue to drag her feet when it comes to giving Adam the reunion he's been pushing for. Since Billy isn't an option anymore, Chelsea might find another guy to keep her busy and distracted from Adam temptation. Chance Chancellor is likely headed for a breakup with Summer Newman, so that could free him up for a Chelsea romance. Daniel Romalotti Jr. could potentially use some comfort in the bedroom as well, though things could get messy since he's still grieving Heather Stevens and dealing with criminal charges. A third option might be Nate Hastings' half-brother Damien, who could make quite a splash in Genoa City once Nate finds him. Whatever the case, there are certainly other romantic possibilities for Chelsea to pursue besides Adam. If Chelsea throws herself at another man to go against this Adam reunion idea, it may ignite Adam's jealousy and leave him furious. That said, it might also lead to a turning point where Chelsea finally decides she can't fight what she feels for Adam any longer. Adam and Chelsea could get the reunion they're destined for in the end. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Chelsea and Adam may ultimately give Connor updates on some good news about their family's future. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a tense situation unfolding in Daniel's apartment. Chance carefully examines a hidden camera he discovered behind a stack of books on the bookshelf. This tiny device holds a dark, haunting truth, a chilling record of Sharon committing murder. The video footage captures a disturbing scene in harrowing detail. Heather lying motionless on the floor, and Sharon seemingly disoriented, her hands stained with blood. As a detective who has always believed in justice, Chance feels a surge of conflict wash over him. This is Sharon, a woman whose struggles with mental health have often placed her in vulnerable situations. While Chance has witnessed many troubling cases throughout his career, none feels quite like this. Sharon isn't just a suspect. She is a friend, someone Chance once thought of as a decent person at heart. He doesn't want to believe she is capable of such a horrific act, but the evidence before him speaks volumes. The physical proof is damning. Blood traces matching Heather's are found on the shelf, and Sharon's fingerprints mark the very spot where Heather met her end. Despite the clarity of the evidence, Chance can't shake the feeling that there is more to the story. Sharon might have been present during the murder, but the possibility that she has no memory of it or acted in a fit of mental instability seems plausible. It's as if a part of Sharon's mind has shattered, leading her to a dark place she might not even recall. With a heavy heart, Chance brings the footage to Daniel, hoping they can determine the best way forward together. Daniel's reaction is one of shock and anguish. Sharon, the woman he has known and cared for, now stands accused of something unfathomable. More than anything, he is devastated by the reality that this gruesome evidence could ruin her life forever. "Chance, are you certain?" Daniel asks, his voice barely above a whisper as he replays the video in disbelief. I can't believe Sharon would do this," he continues. Chance places a reassuring hand on Daniel's shoulder. "I didn't want to believe it either, Daniel, but the evidence is clear. Sharon's fingerprints, the blood, it's all there. But I know Sharon, and I know she's been battling her inner demons for years. This may have been a psychotic break, something she couldn't control or even remember." Daniel shakes his head, struggling to process everything. He cares deeply for Sharon and knows of her mental health battles. He realizes that if she committed this act, it might not have been her conscious self, but rather the result of a fractured psyche, something beyond her control. "What do we do now?" Daniel asks, the weight of the situation pressing heavily on his shoulders. "Do we go public with this? Do we turn her in?" Chance is torn. On one hand, he has sworn to uphold the law, to seek justice and protect the innocent. But in his heart, he questions whether this case is as clear-cut as it seems. Sharon is troubled, yes, but is she truly a danger to society? Would throwing her into the system help anyone, or would it only shatter her further? After a long silence, Chance speaks, his voice steady but pained. "Daniel, we have to think this through carefully. Sharon needs help, not punishment. If we hand this footage over to the authorities, there's no guarantee she'll get the treatment she needs. But if we keep this hidden, we risk betraying the justice system and our own moral codes." Daniel listens intently, understanding the gravity of Chance's words. As much as he wishes to protect Sharon, he knows they can't ignore the consequences of her actions. But perhaps there is a way to address this without resorting to criminal charges. Some way that Sharon can confront her own actions while receiving the psychiatric help she desperately needs. Maybe there's another way, Daniel suggests, his eyes meeting Chance's with newfound resolve. "We could take this footage to a trusted mental health professional, someone who could evaluate Sharon and determine the extent of her mental instability. If she truly doesn't remember, if this was an act beyond her control, maybe she can be admitted for treatment rather than prosecution." Chance nods, appreciating Daniel's compassion and dedication to Sharon's well-being. It's a risk, but it might be the best path forward. Sharon needs help, not judgment. But Daniel, if we do this, we have to be careful. One misstep and this footage could end up in the wrong hands, and then there's no saving her. Together, they craft a plan. They will approach a psychiatrist, someone reputable who can perform a comprehensive mental evaluation. If Sharon's condition is severe enough to merit a diagnosis of diminished responsibility, they could advocate for a mental health treatment program rather than a prison sentence. You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news. Hey, Y&R fans, I've got your weekly prediction edition. We are going to have Sharon Newman attacking, Cricket to the rescue, and Billy Abbott flaunting a new fling. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we've got predictions for Billy and Sally, for Summer, Kyle and Claire, for Phyllis and Sharon, for Alan and Sharon, and for Diane, Victor, Jack, and Kyle. As always, our predictions are based on recent episodes, weekly promos, and official CBS soap opera spoilers. Let's dive right into our very first prediction. If you're not following us, please reach down and click that subscribe button. Prediction 1. Billy may flaunt his new romance with Sally at Abby's wedding. Abby his niece, not his sister. Spoilers for Monday, the 4th have Sally and Billy enjoying a late-night date at the GZAC. They meet for drinks after his kids wrap up their trick-or-treat night. They have fun, sharing stories and living in the moment. But when Billy asks about coming into her hotel room for a nightcap, Sally says not yet. On Friday, November 8th, Abby and Devin reveal their wedding venue after Victor surprises Nikki by rebuilding the ranch house. Abby and Devon's wedding kicks off on Wednesday, November 13th, with lots of Abbotts attending, including Billy. Since Sally is designing Abby's gown, she'll likely be invited, potentially as Billy's +1. If Adam brings Chelsea, Billy might flaunt his relationship with Sally right in front of Adam. Prediction 2. Summer tries to keep Kyle and Claire from getting intimate. Spoilers for Monday, the 4th show Kyle and Claire getting close. Summer, who was out trick-or-treating, returns to the Abbott mansion for her phone, finds Claire's purse, and realizes she's with Kyle. Instead of leaving quietly, she makes a scene, interrupting Kyle and Claire's evening. Later, she faces issues with her boyfriend, Chance, adding to her resentment. Summer, being the schemer she is, might continue to interfere with Kyle's budding relationship with Claire. Prediction 3. Phyllis Summers may be in danger with Cricket, Daniel, and Summer coming to her rescue. Spoilers for Monday, the 8th have Phyllis provoking Sharon by accusing her of killing Heather. On Wednesday, the 6th, Christine keeps a secret that could involve conspiring to shift suspicion onto Sharon. Sharon, feeling cornered by Phyllis, may consider taking drastic measures. If something happens to Phyllis, her family may start putting the pieces together, leading them to Sharon. Prediction 4. Alan Laurent may become Sharon's psychiatrist if she's sent to Fairview. On Tuesday the 5th, Tracy introduces Alan to her brother Billy. Sharon previously brushed him off, but if she's arrested, she may need psychiatric care rather than jail time. With Alan's expertise, he may become her therapist at Fairview, potentially helping her confront her actions. Prediction 5. Diane may be plotting to punish Victor to prove herself to Jack and Kyle. Last week, Jack fired Diane and pursued an annulment, viewing her as the same old schemer. Diane then spoke with Victor and Nikki, hinting at revenge. However, she might be playing a deeper game, sabotaging the product launch that Kyle stole from Jibot. On Thursday, November 7th, Diane issues a cryptic warning, possibly suggesting a surprise that may vindicate her in Jack and Kyle's eyes. Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. You don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is available on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Abby Newman Abbott recently joked that she planned to attend her own wedding. In soaps, they love to do those reverse hints. So could that indicate something happens to Abby on her wedding day to Devin Hamilton Winters? Will Chance Chancellor save the day and rekindle his former romance? Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next with this storyline. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Abby Newman Abbott's wedding. Lie and R spoilers reveal that Devin proposed to Abby, and she happily accepted. When Abby first shared the news with Ashley Abbott via video chat, she was hesitant. Abby was worried that her wedding to Devin would be doomed. Ashley assured Abby, and that seemed to settle the issue. Could Abby's gut have been trying to tell her something, though? Lie and R spoilers, Ashley Abbott returns. Abby and Devin haven't had the easiest time planning their wedding. Another sign that the soap nuptials might be doomed. Abby refused to get married unless her mother could be there. Ashley is still in the Paris treatment facility for dissociative identity disorder. However, it was recently mentioned that Ashley was being released just in time for Abby's wedding. There would be alarm bells if Abby didn't appear to reunite with her mother. Even if Abby got cold feet, she wouldn't miss reuniting with her mom. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman's secret location. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Abby also had trouble with her wedding dress. It wasn't the one as Abby thought, and asked Sally Spectra to design a new one for her. Also, Abby and Devon's venue didn't work out. Abby and Devon couldn't change their wedding date, but Victor Newman came to the rescue. The wedding venue will most likely be the Newman Ranch, which was just renovated. Victor is unveiling the majestic renovation just in time for Nikki Newman's anniversary. So it would be just like Victor to have Abby's wedding at the same place. My and our spoilers. Chance Chancellor's rescue? Considering all the issues with the wedding and Abby's doubt, one would think cold feet could explain her not showing up. However, Abby wouldn't miss reuniting with Ashley. Plus, Jordan hasn't been heard of in a while. It seems overdue for Jordan to escape, and what better place than the renovated Newman Ranch? Could Jordan be responsible for Abby's wedding kidnapping? Will Chance end up saving Abby and preventing her from marrying Devon? Even though Chance is currently dating Summer Newman, they get in a fight next week. It also seems as if Summer is gravitating back towards Kyle Abbott. If that happens, Chance and Abby might have a second chance. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Nate Hastings enlists a shocking partner for Operation Find Damien, his younger half-brother. Will the mustache, Victor Newman, be willing to help him after all this time on the outs? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Amy Lewis needs results, and quickly. Amy Lewis is set to reunite with Nate, clinging to the hope of receiving good news. She poured her heart into her request, urging Nate to seek out his half-brother, Damien, before it's too late. With a terminal diagnosis hanging over her, every moment counts. If Nate were to turn down Amy's plea, the story would lose its momentum, making it likely that he will embark on an urgent quest. While Nate might agree to assist in finding Damien, the lack of leads will pose a significant challenge. Locating Damien will require considerable resources in the weeks or months ahead, so Nate may find himself partnering with an unexpected ally in this investigation. My and our spoilers. Nate Hastings and Victor Newman had a falling out in the past. Viewers are well aware of the friction that arose when Nate was ousted from Newman Enterprises. Back then, Victor wasn't exactly thrilled with Nate, but there was a time when he held him in high regard and depended on him as a physician. Additionally, Victor values family ties, which could make him open to supporting Nate in his quest regarding his half-brother. He once had to hunt down an amnesiac Adam Newman. It's possible that Nate will pay a visit to Victor's office, lay out his complicated situation, and see if the mustache might lend a hand. Victor could very well admire Nate for his courage in approaching him and respectfully seeking the help he needs. There's a chance he'll step up for Nate when it truly matters. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Nate Hastings may talk to other friendlier Newmans first. It's certainly possible that Nate might reach out to Victoria Newman or Abby Newman Abbott initially. Either of them could help persuade Victor to listen to Nate's concerns. Regardless of the approach, Victor has a whole network of people ready to assist in locating Damien quickly. Nate can't simply go from door to door hoping for answers. He needs a more strategic plan if he wants to bring Damien back to Amy before time runs out. This could set the stage for a potential sibling relationship between Nate and Damien, but the priority is to find Damien as the crucial first step in this challenging journey, and Victor's the one to go to in order to find Damien fast.